A new push to repatriate Rohingya refugees from Bangladesh to their homes in Myanmar has apparently ended in failure after no one turned up to board the waiting buses. Myanmar has given the go-ahead for more than 3,000 refugees to be returned to their home country and issued them with documentation. But none of them have yet chosen to follow through with it, fearing what might happen to them upon their return. This is Bangladesh's second repatriation attempt after a previous push that was in November failed. Some 750,000 of the persecuted Muslim minority fled a military offensive in 2017 in Myanmar's Rakhine state. Let's find out more about this now. I'm joined by DW's Naomi Conrad. She's at a refugee camp in the city of Coxs Bazar that's in Bangladesh. Naomi, good day to you. Why are the people where you are refusing to board the buses and go back to their homes potentially in Myanmar?
Look, they're just scared. I mean, some people here told us that if they were forced to go home, they'd rather kill themselves first. It's because they don't trust the government of Myanmar to actually provide them with safety, to give them their lands back. You have to remember this Muslim minority has gone through what some people term close to ethnic cleansing. Their villages were bombed in some cases, women were raped. They simply don't trust the government back in Myanmar to provide the safety and to provide the human rights that they want. A lot of people say once their demands have been fulfilled, they would go back. But at this point, they all prefer to stay here. No one we talk to and no one who's talked to the UN so far wants to go back willingly.
Okay, now you've been at the refugee camp. We can see part of it behind you there at Cox's Bazar. What have the people there been telling you? What are they saying about the living conditions, and what have you been able to see for yourself there?
The living conditions are difficult. I mean, it's not quite as bad as 2 years ago. So there's basic sanitation, there's basic education, but basically there's nothing to do for young people. And also at night, once all the aid workers leave, the aid workers convoys leave here about 4:35. It's completely different. It's dangerous. Criminal gangs, drug traffickers are active. We've heard people who tell us of abduction. People have been killed. So it's not safe once the aid workers leave. There's a lot of frustration. But as I said, people prefer to stay here than to have to go back to Myanmar.
Okay, that says a lot, doesn't it? But what needs to happen, though, to ensure that the refugees where you are able to return safely to Myanmar? That's certainly in the interest of the people where you are at Cox's Bazar, and to a certain degree to the officials and authorities in Myanmar as well.
So what these refugees want is full citizenship rights. They want their lands back, and if their houses have been burnt, they want new houses. But what is crucial here is that UN monitors that the aid community has to have access to the villages in northern Rakhine. That's the state they fled from. Also, some of the repatriation camps that the Burmese government has said that it has set up. So far, there have been no delegations, no journalists, no independent people who've been able to visit these camps. So there's a lot of fear around. Nobody knows whether the promises that the Burmese government has set up, whether they will actually be fulfilled.
Naomi, thanks very much for that. Naomi Conrad for us at the refugee camp at Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh.